In this video, I'm going to summarise paper 2 for the AQA 9-1 course. This is my breakdown of the GCSE Geography Paper 2. This exam will take place on Wednesday the 5th of June 2019 in the afternoon session. It's an hour and a half and it's worth 88 marks. Now you need to be aware of the different sections throughout this paper. So we've got question 1, the urban issues and challenges, question 2, the changing economic world, question 3, the challenge of resource management, and then we've got question 4, food, question 5, water, and question 6, energy. You will complete the first 3 sections. So you're going to do urban issues and challenges, the changing economic world, and resource management. Then you're going to choose one from the final 3 sections, so that's either food, water, or energy. Now, after marking for AQA last year, I saw many students attempt to complete all the sections of the paper, instead of just selecting either food, water, or energy. Make sure you check with your teacher and review past papers to ensure you don't waste time in the exam. So looking at the first section, urban issues and challenges, you need to be aware of these following concepts. You need to understand what urbanisation is, as well as urbanisation rates. You need to look at rural to urban migration and know the difference between internal and international migration. So for your first case study, you should have looked at an example of an NEE, such as Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Mumbai in India, or Lagos in Nigeria. You should have a basic understanding of the location and facts associated with your case study. You should have then studied social challenges, economic challenges, and environmental challenges. As well as looking at possible solutions to all of the above challenges, you should have also reviewed strategies for dealing with the slums, shanty towns, or favelas. Moving on to UK urban challenges, and you should start with basic knowledge of the UK and the distribution of UK cities. You'll look at a case study of a major UK city, such as London, Bristol, or Liverpool. Again, you need to start off with background information about population, ethnic diversity, redeveloped areas, and then looking at economic changes. You should have looked at possible transport solutions across the city, looked at urban greening, urban inequality, such as social deprivation. You should have looked at new development initiatives and the effect on the rural-urban fringe and how that affects urban sprawl. You should have also considered brownfield and greenfield sites in your area. In your chosen city, you should have looked at a major regeneration example. So we looked at the Lower Lee Valley in East London, which is the Olympic site, and this was a brownfield site. When you're looking at this example, you should be looking at what the opportunities presented by this project were, but also some of the problems and challenges along the way. The last thing in your UK example is looking at urban sustainability. So how can that area be sustainable over the long term when it comes to energy and waste management? Right, moving on to section B, the changing economic world. And this starts with defining what is quality of life. So when we talk about quality of life, we want to look at the economic, physical, social, and psychological aspects about quality life. You should have full knowledge of the LIC, NEE, and HICs around the world. You should be looking at primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary industries, and you should have a good understanding of the general development of the entire world. You should then look at all the different types of measures of development, such as the Human Development Index, or the HDI. You should demonstrate understanding of the Democratic Transition Model, the DTM, which shows the different stages of development a country has gone through. You should have looked at uneven development and possibly the Gini coefficient, which shows the inequality within each country around the world, as well as different methods of reducing the development gap. Next up is transnational corporations, also known as TNCs, aid and tourism. And all of these are methods of reducing the gap, and you should have investigated various different examples of each. My pupils have looked at several different areas of reducing the gap. So they've looked at Shell in Nigeria, they've looked at different aid projects such as debt relief, fair trade, and intermediate technologies, as well as tourism in Kenya or Tunisia. Moving on to the changing UK economy and how the different primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary sectors have developed, as well as the industrialisation across the UK. Now you can look at globalisation and how the effect the UK has had on that. Different services such as the tertiary and quaternary industries, looking at IT, finance, and then research development such as the Science and Business Parks in Cambridge. You'll then look at how the UK is trying to reduce the gap between the north-south divide and the methods of strengthening the UK's place within the world economy. You're going to look at such things as improved transport networks, strong links with other countries, trade, culture, transport and the EU, and then reducing the environmental impact. So looking at section C, which begins with question 3. Everyone will have to complete question 3, which is resource management, before they're moving on to either select food, water or energy. So when you're answering question 3, you're going to cover food, water and energy. There could be questions on all 3 aspects. Last year there was only 2 aspects covered, so you've got to have good knowledge of all of them. So you'll start off by looking at the demand for food in the UK and stuff like food miles and carbon footprint. You'll also look at water resources in the UK, so look at the changing in the water demands, areas of deficit and surplus, and then water transfer schemes. You'll then look at energy resources in the UK, so how the demands have changed in the UK regarding energy, and then the UK energy mix, so different types of energy that's produced. Once completed question 3, you'll choose one from either questions 4, 5 or 6. My pupils have studied water this year, so they're going to complete section 5. So the water section starts with specifically looking at the UK water resources. Then you're going to look at a wider global perspective and the patterns of water surplus and deficit, as well as consumption and the availability of water. You'll then also look at water insecurity around the world. This summarises the GCSE Geography Paper 2 from AQA that you'll be taking on 5th of June 2019. Once again, you need to make sure you revise the correct topics that your teacher has gone through with you and then complete the appropriate sections. Make sure you go through the paper multiple times once you've finished and ensure you complete all the questions from your chosen sections. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more GCSE Geography videos coming this year, and good luck with your exams.